I'm going to get right into the video. But before I do, I want to say that I don't own the rights to this song. I just enjoy it and it motivates me. It's called I Hear the Sound of Victory by Maurette Brown Clark. I'm going to play the video while I'm talking to you guys. So anyway, welcome to Change in Motion. My name is Anita and I'm here to talk to you about actually making a change. So let me first start by saying that change involves a spiritual awakening. I have a desire to change. Do you have a desire to change? Give me just one moment. The song that I wanted you guys to hear. Oh, I realize I cannot play the song while I'm doing the video. Okay, so I'll play the song a little bit later in the video. No, I'm going to play it now because it gets you motivated. I don't own the rights to this song. It's by Maurette Brown Clark. I Hear the Sound of Victory. Doesn't that just motivate you? Just hearing the music, it just like pumps me up to get me moving. But I know you didn't come here to listen to this song, but I will show you who the author is.
I don't have to find anyone, and with every step I take, it's getting closer. And the louder it gets, the more intense. The more I pray, the harder it gets.
Is on the way. Okay, so anyway, let me get back to the video. I'm going to take about maybe 5 minutes of your time, but it's going to be worth at least about 2 to 3 hours of your time, the information that I'm going to share. I want to help you tear down the forces that have been standing in your way from making change. We can do this together. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Again, welcome to Change in Motion. My name is Anita. Ask yourself, are you a talker or are you a doer? Do you procrastinate? Sometimes I procrastinate. I'm sure that, everybody procrastinates at some time or another, but is this something that you find yourself doing all too often? So, change is something that's supposed to be very simplistic. Some of the things that I want to say about change, I don't want you guys to miss this. I want you to really embrace it. Change is infectious. When you decide that you're going to do something and you're motivated to do it, other people will want to make a change right along with you. Change is difficult. You are not just going to wake up one day and just like, okay, I want to make a change and then just have everything fall in place. I wanted to do this YouTube channel and I began immediately to have a lot of obstacles in my way. So I just decided to let me just change the way that I think about how I want the channel to be, and let me just present the material. And then as time goes on, the channel will grow and it'll become everything that I want it to become. That's a part of me making my change. Change is exciting. Whenever you're doing something that is new, it's good to approach it in a way of thinking of it as being a new adventure, because it will help you to enjoy the journey. A lot of people don't enjoy the journey of making a change. I have a couple of health concerns, so for me, going to the gym, it's not the same as the average person. So I have to be creative when I do things. So I guess, what I do is I just kind of think about, what's going to work for me. Then in my mind, I tune out everybody else because what I'm doing is going to be completely different from what they're doing. And I have to be so focused on myself and on what I'm doing that it doesn't bother me that I'm not doing what everyone else is doing, and that, like, what are they thinking about what I'm doing. I don't want you to like overthink your change is what I'm trying to say. Just focus on the outcome. Some people fear change, but I don't want you to fear change. I want you to think of change as a way of saying, I have to constantly make a change in order to be my best self. If you think of change as a way of bettering yourself, it won't become such a chore. There are things that you have to implement. If things remain the same, there's not going to be any progress. There's not going to be an upward motion. There's no success story. You just have the same outcome, and you may have disappointment from that. I want to quickly talk about the things that stand in the way of change. One thing is a negative mindset. A second thing would be negative words. And the third thing would be negative people. A negative mindset could be a mindset that's filled with doubt or fear. It's important that you believe that you will actually get to the next step in your journey. Sometimes we decide that we want to do something and we look at the big picture, but we don't look at the steps that we're going to take on our way there. If you look at the journey as a step-by-step process, it makes it a lot easier to adapt to the changes that you're trying to make. If you allow fear, if you have thoughts in your mind that I can't do this, or I can't stop doing this, or I'm not going to ever be able to change from what I'm doing, or I'm always going to be this way. These are the kind of thoughts that are going to prevent you from moving forward, and they're going to cripple you. If you mix a negative mindset towards yourself along with negative words, you're actually setting yourself up for failure. I struggled with whether or not I wanted to share a story about my mom. She was always comparing me to my dad. And because she did this, it impacted the way that I viewed myself for a while. And then one day I realized that this wasn't how I viewed myself. This was something that she was dealing with. And it really had nothing to do with me. If I said something to her, she immediately thought that I was lying to her because she felt that my dad was lying because of his profession. He was gone a lot. So I had to talk to her and say, hey, Mom, I'm not my dad. And I'm not talking bad about my mom. I'm just sharing that she used some negative words towards me at that time by comparing me to my dad. And as a result of that, I was beginning to question, do other people think that when I say something to them that I'm just lying? Do people think I'm a fraud? And then, I began to sit down and I talked to her about it, and we had a fantastic relationship. So, we got past that. It was just something that maybe she wasn't even aware that she was doing. So that brings me to negative people. There are people in your lives that are going to be your cheerleaders, and then you're going to have some people that, the world calls them haters. And I really look at it like the people that are surrounding you should always be pushing you to be better. If these people are not pushing you to be better, but instead they are tearing you down again with negative words or placing doubt in your mind, these are not the type of people that you want to be surrounded around when you're getting ready to make a change. Another thing that I want to share is that you should check in with yourself regularly. You know, where is my mind? What am I thinking about? Are the thoughts that I'm having producing positive results? You know, am I getting anywhere, or am I just stagnant? It's important to check in. Just take a few minutes and just check in. You know, where am I at right now in my journey? What's going on with me? If I pause right now, everyone is like touching, like is something wrong with the video? No, I'm not in motion. I'm not doing anything. I'm not being productive. I'm just sitting. And yes, I'm doing this on purpose because I want to make a point. You can't get anything done just being still. You have to get out there and you have to try. You might fail. You might have a setback. I've had numerous setbacks, but it's important to keep going. It's important to keep moving. It's important to keep believing that eventually you're going to, eventually I'm going to reach my goals. Eventually things are going to change. Eventually things are going to happen. Maybe not exactly the way that you're expecting them to happen, but they will. I wanted to share, excuse me, I wanted to share that I read Proverbs 4:23, and it says, more than anything you guard, protect your mind, for life flows from it. And when I read that, it says more than anything at all that you guard, more than your children, more than your spouse, more than your life, guard your mind, because life itself is flowing from your mind. And that really stood out to me because your desire to change, it starts with a seed that's planted in your mind that you actually need to make a change. As far as words are concerned, I have a motto that I have for myself, which is, I will put in motion the change needed to produce the impact for my expected outcome. That's my motto that I created for myself. I will put in motion the change needed to produce the impact for my expected outcome. This is something that's important. Sometimes you have to put it on a wall. Sometimes you have to put it on a door, sit it on your desk. Sometimes you have to listen to music. You have to do things that are going to help you make your change. Now, the video is getting really long. I have so much more that I want to share with you guys, but I don't want to take up a lot of your time. If you enjoyed the video, I would like you to click subscribe, and I will be making a part 2 to this video. Thanks for watching.